Hi, everybody. Happy Friday. How are you guys? Sorry, it's been so long since I have done a live show. I feel like it's just been forever. It's just been kind of crazy trying to catch up, and then I just kind of switched the show around to be more of a recap of the week kind of thing. In my group Thrifty Adventures on Facebook, I do a different scavenger hunt item every week, so I just thought maybe we would discuss that and then kind of just go over and do like a recap of the week. So I think I'm going to start to do that. I'm going to wait a couple minutes here, or a minute, just to see if anybody else joins us, and then I will be right back to discuss. Hopefully everybody's week is going well. I'm going to eat some of my kids' Halloween candy. How was everybody's Halloween, by the way? I had a sick kid who got sent home from school, so I still let her go trick-or-treating, but she pretty much sat in the stroller the whole time while the other one trick-or-treated for a little bit until he was completely and utterly done. But at least it was beautiful out here in Illinois. That does not happen often for us. Okay, so I'm going to sit here and eat or snack on that. Okay, so I am going to start off this week with, we talked about this week's scavenger hunt item in my group was jackets. You know, it's starting to get cold in a lot of areas. It's getting close to winter time here. Hi, Stacy. How are you? Did you have any jacket sales this week? So I just thought we'd try jackets. I don't sell tons of jackets per se, but I do try to look in that section, and I have started on Posh. So I'm trying to get, I do know some clothing, and I do probably have a whole guest room full of clothing just for eBay. So I do have a lot listed, but I'm trying to get more into it and up my ROI. So I thought we'd all discuss jackets a little bit. I only got, I think, like one jacket this week, which it is listed, but I'll show you here. I got a Calvin Klein jacket. It is a smaller size. It's only a size 6. But it's a nice long jacket. It is a wool blend. It's about knee length. I got it for, I think it was $7.50 because it was $14.99 and half off. So I have it listed for $40 on eBay and Poshmark right now. So hopefully that'll be a nice quick sale for me. But some other jackets you should look out for, you know, North Face and Columbia. Columbia kind of get, cheaper. Harley Davidson, Coca-Cola jean jackets. Some of the old like denim washed jackets are in style now, so look out for those. Vintage starter sports jackets. Those always do well. And then of course, like the higher end, the Burberry and brands like that, you want to also look out for. But they can be a great seller. And when you're selling jackets, you want to make sure you get measurements. So measurements of the pit, measurements of the sleeves, measurements of the waist if it's a longer jacket, measurements of the length. So make sure you're posting all of that. That will help your items sell. And excuse me, this week has been horrible. We have all been sick. So I'm still trying to catch up from my sore throat. Yes, NASCAR. I didn't mention. Stacy said she sold some NASCAR ones, Harley ones. All of those will do well. Sports jackets. I mean, we're in football season. We're in all those seasons. So there's always sports fans out there. So there's tons of them at least the thrift stores around by me. And I'm sorry, my son's going to be coming in and out as he comes in here. Yeah, you ate all the Skittles? Okay. Go watch Daniel now. So make sure you're looking through all of them. There's some great ones out there. And jackets go for more, so it's a great ROI item because you can get jackets for cheap at the thrift stores, and they do sell for quite a bit depending on what you're looking for or what you're looking at. So make sure you keep your eye out. All right, so this week, aside from jackets, if I can get through this, oh my goodness, sorry guys. So far I have $781.29 in sales on eBay and Poshmark. So it's been it's been pretty slow for me. I've still sold a few items each day, but it's still been a lot slower than I'm used to at this time of year. So hopefully it'll start to pick back up. I'm not too worried about it. You know, sales come and go, things pick up closer to Christmas. Now that Halloween's over, the holidays will probably start to pick back up. Now that people will be shopping for Christmas presents and things like that. So I've just been listing and getting stuff done. I have been doing a little bit more on Poshmark. I've sold 3 Poshmark this week for $46. So nothing huge or anything, but it's a nice little extra side thing to get that stuff listed. I do cross list from eBay and Poshmark, and then I just end the item on eBay if it sells on Poshmark. So you do need to be paying attention to that, but it's a very easy shipping process with them. Another thing that you want to make sure you're looking at is Facebook groups. I've sold some pins. Yes, sweetie. I've sold. Okay, hang on a minute. I've sold some Disney pins on a Facebook site. I've sold a couple other things. But another thing that you want to do is you could source on these sites. You want to say hi? You could source and say hi. Hi. You could source on these sites. My daughter, and I'll show you what I got. So I had someone list on a Disney site. Sorry. Trying to get situated. Now I have him. Okay. I had someone post a whole bunch of these items, Stitch items. Which, if you don't know who Stitch is, it is a Disney character, and it is a popular one. So she posted this along with a little ceramic figurine, and then a couple plastic figurines. And I think there was about 5 or 6 items total, and she wanted 18 for all of them. With shipping, I think I spent 18. So. This, and what I knew right away, my daughter found it at a thrift store a few months ago, and she sold it last month for $55. Okay. Okay, you take these and you go watch Daniel, okay? So she sold it for $55. So I knew right away that was worth it. So I bought the whole lot. I have this listed, and I sold the other Stitch ceramic figurine for $30 already. So it's definitely something that you want to keep your eye out for on OfferUp, on Facebook Marketplace. It's okay, Kai. You can wash your hand after. You didn't. Sorry. So you can make sure you're sourcing on these places because it's a great venue. Not everybody looks at what they have and sees what they have. So definitely want to make sure you're looking out for that. Let's see what else happened this week. I didn't get to too many sales. I'm sorry, I have stuff all over me. I don't get to too many sales just because of all of the sicknesses that have been going around. My daughter got sent home from school on Halloween, and then we also had Halloween, and it's been a crazy week. So I'll show you a couple of the items that I got. I did go to an estate sale, and I actually thrifted in my house. We all have so many things. So occasionally it's good to just thrift in your house. I went through my drawers and my dressers just to get some stuff to donate because it's insane. I can't fit anything in my drawers anymore. So I thought, why not go through it? And then I found a few things. So, flipping through my house, I found, back up here, this shirt, or this jacket, I guess. It's a hoodie, and it says Original Dead Man. So, in a previous life, I dated someone that loved wrestling. So I went to a lot of wrestling. I know more about wrestling than I probably want to know. So I got this from him, and this was it's from the Undertaker, who is a popular WWE wrestler, if you don't know him. And they don't make that many of these types of things. So I am going to sell this, and this will probably be a good like $50. So I'll go ahead and get that listed. I didn't even really see any comps on there, which brings me to another point. A lot of people get so stuck on if you can't find like comps of an item, or if you can't find your item. Of course, we all want to research our items and be able to see what other things have sold for, so that we kind of know what to list ours for. But I mean, we're thrifting, we're going out there. Sometimes we find that one-of-a-kind item, and there's just none listed. I do also have a WorthPoint subscription, which is a great, great, great tool if you don't have it. eBay, you can only go back 90 days. WorthPoint, you can go back years. So if I can't find it on eBay, most of the time I can find comps on WorthPoint. But in the rare instance that I can't find comps on either, depending on the item, I'll just kind of list it. And you can either auction it. And when you auction the item, you want to make sure you're starting it at the least amount that you will take. Don't start it at 99 cents and then get mad if it sells for 99 cents. Start the auction at the least amount of time, or least amount of money you want. Hang on, honey. And then as far as, like, this is a sweater. It's not a $500 sweater. Even if I can't find any, you just kind of know that it's not worth that amount. I will go ahead and I'll probably list it for $50 or $60 and see what it goes for. But depending on the item, if you think it's an item that a lot of people might search for, then you can set it up for an auction and see what happens with that. I am so sorry, guys. I am going to take just a quick 10-second break and get my son a quick juice box. So just give me 1 second. I'm so sorry. Okay. All right, sorry guys. That's kind of the life of my thrifty mom, right? Now you know, I have an insight of what I deal with all day. All right. Try to teach, but sometimes I have to do other things. Okay, so this is one of the things I found at an estate sale, which my daughter colored on, but it's a dry erase board. It does have a slight scratch here, if you can see it. Not that hard to. It's not easy to tell. So I got that for $15. And this is an example. There was none on eBay, and I did find it on WorthPoint, and it did sell for about $45 a couple years ago. With the scratch, I'm still going to try to get about $50 for it. Since there's none listed, you can up your price a little bit. And then if there was nothing wrong with it, I could probably shoot for like 75, or maybe 65. But since there's that issue with it, I'm gonna just count it a little bit. Yay, Leanne! I'm excited. So we are kind of talking jackets and different things. Do you have any jacket sales? Chime in if you guys have any questions. It's hard for me to always think of things to talk about and think of things to do. I'm by myself, so I don't have anybody to feed ideas off of. So if you guys have any questions, jump in and ask. That's what I do these shows for. Okay, so another couple items that I found thrifting in my house are almost some Victoria's Secret jammies. I have this one and this one. So I'm going to just stick these up for about 15 each. Victoria's Secret is a great brand to look for with different, I've sold like robes and things like that in the upwards of $40, $50. So that's a good brand to also look for these. There's tons of, yes, it's Kyle. There's tons of jammies to go for. There's a lot listed. So I'm not going to go too high with those. So he always wants to join. So anyways, my other sales that I have this week, I had some board games, which I always like. I'm sorry for the echo that we now have. Plush. And then today I sold a golf polo called FootJoy. Do I have? I think I have one here. Okay. Like, oh, Mom and Daddy's one. Bless you, okay? Okay, so this is the FootJoy brand. I found 3 of these. And one just sold for $20. They normally go between $20 and $30. I've sold new ones for $50 to $60. So this is always a good brand to look for. I got them for $2.50 on clearance at Goodwill. It was half off. And I sold one on Poshmark today for $20. So I think I spent $18 that whole trip. So that paid off all of that. So that was nice. You're gonna have to go on another chair right now, honey. And then my big sale of the week is. I actually just sold this about an hour ago. And it is a floating bottle. So, let's see. Oh, this cough. All right. So if you could see like the instructions here, it is a Budweiser and it's like a display and then it's got the bottle there and it's like a floating bottle display. This sold for $105. So I got it for $25 at an auction. So probably with fees I spent about $30. So that's a nice little profit. So Bruiana, you can say it sells for a lot. I do a lot of tap handles and beer items like this, clocks, things like that. Those sell well too. So that's always something else that you want to look out for. Tiki mugs, things like that are always people use those for their man caves and bars in their house. So that's a great, great collectible market to get into. Okay, Kyle. I tried to do this show when I first started doing these Friday shows. I tried to get him started during his nap time, which used to be 12:30, and both of my kids at the age of like 2.5 just stopped napping. I cannot get them to nap anymore. So I don't have a choice but to do this with him. So I'm sorry if it's a little loud in the background. What, Kyle? Scrub tops. Scrub tops are always good. So I got this Snoopy one for $3. It's a size large. You gotta wait, honey. I'm working. So, okay. I'm sorry. Oh my God. This is a horrible thing. I'm going to have to try to think of something else for you guys. Give me one quick second, please. What, Kyle? You gotta give me a minute, and I don't forget. You gotta wait. What do you need? What do you need, Kyle? What? You want this chair in there? Look. Me, there you go. There you go. There you go. Oh my gosh, dead air. So sorry, you guys. You're going to have to go get that. Okay, so yes, the floating bottle, the Bruiana. That's always a good market to get into. So no one has any questions for me? How's everybody's sales? Does anybody have questions on the jackets on our... Thanks, Leanne. Makes me feel a little better. I'm sorry. Point of being thrifty mom, right? That used to be my old YouTube name. So I changed it. All right. So what else I had? People talk about plush. I sold a Beast from Beauty and the Beast plush. It was a big, like 21-inch plush. I got that for 50 cents at Goodwill. He's a good character to look out for. There's not many of him around, so that one sold for $20 pretty fast. A Baby Bop sold for about $10 this morning. Barney items are also a good thing to look out for. I've sold Barney sheets and Barney plush and Barney toys, Barney VHS. So I've sold a lot of those types of items as well. I'm trying to think what else happened this week. I'm a little flustered. Yay, CCC. Barney, a little over $20. So look out for Barney for sure. That's always a good seller. Trying to see here. What else? So what I am working on now are records. I got like probably 200-300 records from my parents' friend over a year ago. And I occasionally will list a few and then I leave them alone because it just gets repetitive to me and I like listing different types of items. I don't want to get too bored of them, so I don't get too many of them. But I'm trying not to buy too much this month. So I've been going through stuff I have around the house more. And I don't really have too much of a death pile, as people call them. I try to get everything listed. So that's all I really have to go through to list right now. And that's, like I said, I was thrifting through my house. I love plush, Leanne. They're easy to list. They're easy to ship. They're light. The only bad thing about them is they take up so much room. I have like 2 huge bins of plush in my son's bedroom of things that are listed. So it does take up a lot of room. That's the only problem with plush. But it's so cheap and there's great money to be made. So as far as records go, sorry. Kyle, can you hand me one of those, please? What? Can you hand me one of those records? Please? Yeah, can you give me one? Yeah? Yeah, can you give me it? Yeah. So when you're looking at records, you want to look for, this is definitely not one that you kind of want to look for, but you're looking for like metal bands and rock bands. Those are, there's other ones that sell, but those are like the ones that really can bring a lot of money. I'm sure there's always, like I said, I always say there's exceptions to every rule, but those are the ones, even with cassette tapes and things like that, metal bands and rock bands are great sellers. You have to wait, Kyle. So when you're listing them, yes, there is, this one is not a good example, but there on the bind, there's a number. It's hard to see. But there's always numbers on there. You want to make sure you list that in your title. A lot of people do not list that. Those numbers will be like the release of them or the catalog. I'm not too familiar with it, but it's something to do with like the catalog number, the release of the number that people will look for. Kyle, don't open that. So that's always something that you want in your title. I call it record. I put album in there. I put both because you want to make sure in your title that you're putting as many keywords as possible. Some people might call it a record. Some people might call it an album. So make sure you're doing that. And then I also put in the year and the record company. People, they remake records all the time. Especially now records are coming back. So you want to make sure you put the year so that if it is a vintage one that you're showing or letting the buyer know that that's what that is from, because it can be worth more that way. And then the record company, people look for these things, so make sure you're paying attention. If you don't have, they have, how do you ship them? So it's actually super, super easy. There's two different ways. So there's record mailers, which is just like a long, wide cardboard almost, but it's cut to where you could just put the record in the middle and then fold over the flaps, tape it, and stick it in a poly mailer, and it's done. Very, very easy. But if you don't have a lot of records, you don't want to spend the money on record mailers, which, side note, I've used record mailers for a lot of different items other than records. So they are a great tool to have either way. But if you don't want to buy that, then what I do is I just take cardboard, I put it on the front, and I put one on the back, and then I tape it, and then I can put that in a poly mailer. Some people would say that you should take this out and put that here. It protects the record a little bit better. So you could do it like that, and then just put cardboard front and back, and then put it in a poly mailer. And these can go media mail. So you could ship records media mail. I think I charge like $3, $2.95 mostly to ship these, and I think they end up being like $2.66 normally to ship these items. So it's a very easy ship. Okay, so oh my gosh, so I think I'm going to start to wrap up for this week because my son is not doing too well here. So next week I have not decided our scavenger hunt item yet. You guys can always give suggestions in the group, and if you want to learn an item or go into depth into a certain item, we can do that for this week. So just always just shoot it up in the group, in the Facebook group, and let me know, and we could do that. Always looking for suggestions on what you guys want to learn. I want everybody to get to know the whole thrift store. So I'm sorry for the interruptions. I'm sorry about my throat. Hopefully next week's show will be a little bit easier for us. But thank you for joining, and I hope your week went well. I hope this weekend is great sales. Like I said, we had Halloween, so now everybody's going to be focusing on Thanksgiving and Christmas and getting into the holiday shopping. So it should be picking up soon. So happy fourth quarter. Get to listing so we can get all this stuff sold. And I will see you next week. Have a good weekend. Bye-bye. What, Kyle?